Hey guys, it's Ivy. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a fun video. I have put a lot of thought into this one. I'm going to recommend books based off of every song on Taylor Swift's new Lover album, which obviously I'm obsessed, and I know Lover was released a few weeks ago, but I have really been trying really hard to come up with songs that I thought would be perfect pairing for if you love this song, then you'll love this book. And the first song on the album, I Forgot That You Existed, literally took me forever to think of a book to go with it. So that's what took so long for this video to come out. Finally, I thought of a book to go with I Forgot That You Existed. And clearly I can't sing, but I'm gonna have fun doing this, okay? I thought Everlist by Sarah Holland was a good book to recommend for that song, because in this book our main character forgets about everything that has happened to her in her past, and things start unraveling as she digs deeper into it, and so she forgot that they existed. So it's perfect, and this was a 5-star read for me. Bad boy, shiny toy with the price, you know that I bought it. Okay, so for Cruel Summer, I have to recommend The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Like, there is not a more perfect book for that song. Like, literally, The Cruel Prince, he's a bad boy, and she can't help it. Like, it's just, it's so good. This book is one of my favorites of all time. Jude is a human girl who lives in the fairyland, and she is constantly putting herself in competition with our prince, who is Carden, who is just I'm in love with, and I just love this series. I can't wait for Queen of Nothing. So if you like Cruel Summer and for some odd reason you haven't read The Cruel Prince yet, pick it up. Pick this up. Tell me a more perfect book for the song Lover than Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Like, I still want to cry every time I hear that song, because it's just so beautiful, and this book is so beautiful, and the relationships in this book are just like so real and raw, and it's why I picked this book for the song Lover. And you might be thinking that I'm picking it because of Daisy, our main character. However, the relationship that I am basing my song choice around for this book is Billy and Camila's, because their foundation of love is like just so true, and oh, it's amazing. And this is one of my favorite books of the year. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and if you're a fan of Lover and you haven't read this, you're going to cry. So just have that song playing in the background while you're reading this. My book choice for the man is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. There is no better character than Selena Sardothien for this song. Like, she is one badass female. It's why I love the books. It's why I'm obsessed with the books. Like, Selena shows you real female strength, and that she can be better than any man out there, and I just fucking love that about her. This is my favorite series of all time, so obviously it was going to make an appearance in this video, but no better song than The Man for Throne of Glass. For The Archer, I have chosen The Falconer, and that is by Elizabeth May. The Falconer is a book about a human girl who can see fays, and her mother was murdered by a fae, and she gets involved with a fae male who is teaching her how to hunt his own kind, and it's so good. I really need to pick up the sequel, but yes. So I've been the archer, I've been the prey, so has she in the Falconer. Pick it up, it's so good. For I Think He Knows, I picked Hating to Love You by Erin Riley. It's perfect because it's a romance, it's steamy, and he definitely knows that they got some chemistry brewing, and it's so good. This is definitely my favorite romance novel to this day. It's so good, but I will tell you, this book is very rated R. It's very steamy, but it's good. And basically, it's about Sophie and Rafe who have a one-night stand, and Sophie gets pregnant. Boom. It's the bomb. You know I adore you. I'm crazy for you. For Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince, I have chosen Catwoman by Sarah J. Maas. I chose Catwoman because of the relationship between Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn. And I just think that the ominous sound of Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince just makes me think of the setting of this book and the atmosphere, and their relationship is very complicated, and that's how I feel the relationship is in Miss Americana and the Heartbreak Prince. So also, this book is just so good. Like, I would like a sequel. Thank you. For Paper Rings, I have chosen Serious Moonlight by Jen Bennett, and I chose this book because Paper Rings just makes me so excited and so happy, and it makes me want to dance around, and that's how I felt reading Serious Moonlight. This book is just a lovey-dovey, sleuthing mystery, and it's fun, it's entertaining, and I just feel like it's perfect for Paper Rings because both give you that excited feeling and just make you really happy. And if you didn't know what Serious Moonlight was about, it is about Birdie, who has a one-night stand run-in with this guy in his car, and she runs away and she doesn't see him again, and he puts an ad out in the paper looking for her, and it turns out that when she starts her new job, he works at the hotel there as well, and just all the funness after that starts to unfold. So much fun, so good. 4 out of 5 stars. For Cornelia Street, I have chosen A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas because when I listen to Cornelia Street, I just think of this like moment that time will stand still for, and when she talks about being mystified, how the city screams his name, I just think that it's like when she goes to Valaris and how her and Reese fall in love with each other, and oh, it's just, sorry if I spoiled anything, whoops, but I just, like I said, I feel like Cornelia Street is a song that time will just stop and stand still for, and that's how I feel about A Court of Mist and Fury, and it makes my heart feel good. So that's why I had to recommend this for Cornelia Street. And also, I just think about how she will feel or how he would feel if they ever lost each other, and it just like how Taylor says she's terrified if he ever walks away, and it's just it's just a sigh. Like, they're so good together. Cornelia Street, Court of Mist and Fury. Death by a Thousand Cuts, Serpent and Dove by Shelby Mahurin. Oh my god. This is one of my favorite books of the year, one of my favorite books of all time. This book is about Lou, and she is a witch, and she gets forced into marriage with a witch hunter, and obviously some steamy romance starts to happen, but there's just so much tension, and that's how I feel Death by a Thousand Cuts is. It's just like tension in this romance that she had, and this book was a book of tension. So good, so good. And Lou is amazing. She reminded me so much of Selena because she just is a badass female, and I just recommend you read this no matter what. Like, it's so good.
Driving in on my scooter, you know, just running like.
So for London Boy, I chose The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee, and I just think of London Boy as such a fun song. She's in the city, and there's no better recommendation for that song than Percy and Monty. Their shenanigans are just a grand old time. So is that song. Highly recommend. For Soon You'll Get Better, I have chosen The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han. If you didn't know, one of the mothers in this series has cancer and is sick, and it's one of the things that make this series so beautiful and just very close to my heart, a lot of people's hearts, is because it's a real raw emotional story, and that's the story Taylor tells in Soon You'll Get Better. So these pair hand in hand. They're both just raw and emotional, and this trilogy is amazing, and I commend Taylor for writing a song like that for a lot of people to be able to connect with and hold dear to their hearts. For False God, which is one of my favorite songs on the album, I have chosen the Caraval series. Specifically, I think Legendary pairs with this song even more so than Caraval, but you have to read Caraval in order to read Legendary, so yeah. I just think that the way that she sings about False God is that, like, it's just this steamy romance happening, and that it might be false, but it's gonna be intoxicating. And that is the setting of Caraval 100%. So good. This book, you will not know what is real. You will keep second guessing, and it's a carnival circus setting, and just, I haven't read finale yet, but Legendary was amazing, and the romances are good. It's just so good. For You Need to Calm Down, I decided to recommend Dumplin by Julie Murphy. Now, I have to be very honest with you guys and tell you that I have not read that book, that my recommendation of this book is based off of the film, which I tried to think of something that I did read, but every time I thought of You Need to Calm Down, I just thought of Dumplin and how she stands up for herself and all other girls that are different, and she still joins the beauty competition, and she's basically trying to shut down the stigma. All body types are beautiful, and I just loved that. So the film was amazing. I loved the film. One day I would like to get to the book, but like I said, my recommendation for You Need to Calm Down is just based off of the movie Dumplin. Sorry I didn't have like a book that I read for that, but I still thought it fit really well and that it could work. This book popped into my head as soon as I heard the song Afterglow, so I know it's perfect, and that is The Wicked Deep by Shay Earnshaw. This book is about 3 sisters who were executed as witches, but every summer they come back and inhabit the bodies of teenage girls. And that's all I'm gonna say, because if you haven't read this, I don't want to give anything away, because it blew my mind the first time I read it, and I have reread this book since. It's one of my favorite books of all time, and just the things that happen in this book and that one of the main character needs forgiven for is just like, it's Afterglow. It's just so beautiful. You'll never find another like me. For me, I have chosen the On Honeymooners by Christina Lauren, and this is a haters to lovers romance, but it's just me. It's such a fun song. It's just so entertaining and happy-go-lucky, and that's how this book is. And I thought that they paired very well together, and that if you liked just having a good time, then this is the perfect book for you to pick up. It is about this girl whose twin sister gets sick on her wedding day, so she sends her to pretend to be her with the groomsmen on their honeymoon, and they have to pretend that they're married and they hate each other. So it's a good time. My recommendation for It's Nice to Have a Friend is 10 Blind Dates by Ashley Elston. This book is about a girl who breaks up with her boyfriend, and her family sends her on 10 blind dates, and they each pick someone for her to date. Meanwhile, the neighbor next door, who she has had as a childhood friend her entire life, they start to rekindle and stuff happens, and yeah. So that's why I chose It's Nice to Have a Friend, because they grew up together. The song's about growing up together with your friend, and perfect recommendation.
My love was as cruel as the cities I lived in.
For daylight, I have chosen to recommend Wildflower by Drew Barrymore for you guys. When I listen to Daylight, I just think about this like full forming story of how things turn out really beautiful, and that's how I felt when I read Wildflower by Drew Barrymore. Like, she talks about her trials and tribulations, but she talks about all the things that she's grateful and lucky and happy to have, and I just feel like they pair very nicely together. It's about growing up, and that's why I had to recommend Wildflower, which also is obviously a biography, so it's way different from anything else on this recommendations list, but I highly recommend the audiobook because Drew narrates it herself, so it's like really, really good. So there you guys have it. That is, I hope you guys had fun watching this, but that is my lovers recommendations, and if you guys have any cool recommendations for any of the songs, leave those for me down below. And I really hope you guys like this. I had fun thinking it out and planning it and stuff, and yeah. My favorite song on the album right now is probably Cruel Summer, which it wasn't when the album first dropped, but it's constantly changing. Every song on the album is fantastic. This is one of the best albums that Taylor's ever made, and I just love it, and it's just so good. I hope you guys like this video. As always, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you did, and I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Bye!